Hey, it's Tuxedo Mark. It's 9:23 p.m. on Tuesday, September 28th, 2021. And this is my review of The Prisoner episode, The General. Um, yes, thank you for that email notification that I am now live on my own channel. I never would have figured it out. Anyway, that's the first time that I've seen that. It's weird. Anyway, so this episode, let me bring up my spreadsheet. Where is it? It was the 11th episode produced, actually. So over halfway through the production of the series. But I've seen it. It was originally scheduled to air number 6, and it was actually aired number 6. But I've also seen it placed in 7th and 8th positions in various orders. So, yeah, the way that I have it is, in my order, is number 7. So, yeah, that's where I'm viewing it. And also, while I was watching the episode, and if I had to pause for any reason, I would go and read up on a Prisoner website. And there's another order that I just discovered that someone came up with, and they gave detailed explanations why they were putting the episodes in that order. But I am probably not going to deviate from my order that I already selected. But anyway, yeah. So, okay, in this episode, apparently there is a teaching method, like a school or something at the village, taught by the professor, some guy that arrived at the village along with his wife. There's this new method called speed learning, where you can apparently teach someone an entire 3-year course in 3 minutes. And this is done by the students staring at a screen with an image of let me see who that image was, actually. I can't find it at the moment, but you stare at an image on the screen, and the information is fed into your consciousness through subliminal messaging, which I don't even know if anything like that is true. I think Saved by the Bell did a plot like that once in the episode The Sack Tapes. But anyway, number 6 is worried that this can lead to mind control. And apparently the professor himself is wary of this, because number 6 is running along the beach, or walking along the beach. He finds the professor's dropped like tape recorder or something with a message warning people against speed learning. Despite going on television and publicly talking positively about it. Number 6 hides the tape recorder on the beach, but later on, someone named number 12 finds it and gives it to number 6, and as well as a method to get into the the place where the speed learning is being broadcast from, which apparently this is being. A lot of the people that are attending are wearing like black suits and top hats and sunglasses, which is weird. So number 6 dresses like that, and and he had also met with the professor's wife. The professor was ill, but then was supposedly getting better. But anyway, number 6 wants to broadcast the professor's message to the entire village. But he's thwarted when number 2 recognizes him on the monitor, and then number 2 interrogates him and takes him to meet the general, who's apparently the mastermind or somehow connected to the speed learning process. It turns out the general is a supercomputer built by the professor. You know, like those old-fashioned 1960s computers that take up the entire room of a wall. That's the general. The way that it works, I don't know if this is at all historically accurate, but the professor types something on his typewriter and then feeds it into a machine, into a slot. By the way, I saw this machine earlier in an episode. I didn't realize what it was at that time. Earlier on, while the professor was feeding papers into a machine, I noticed a little jump cut, but anyway, whatever. So then this thing is spit out, which you then have to take over to the general because it converts your written text or your typed text into, computer language or whatever on this card or this film or whatever it is. The professor feeds it into the general, and then it gets to work on it. So number 12 is in trouble with number 2 because number 2 realizes number 12 must have given number 6 the credentials to get in and infiltrate the place and all that stuff. So he has the professor type up the situation basically on the typewriter and to feed it into a general, and then the general will decide what should be done. But before he does that, he types out all the stuff on a paper, but before the professor types up the question, number 6 claims he has a question that the general can't answer. And when number 2 is kind of dismissive of it, number 6 is like, "What, are you afraid?" So number 2 is like, "Type in your question." So number 6, he had gotten like his hand cut up or his arm cut up. So one arm is in a sling. I forget which one, the left one maybe, I don't know. But he types a short question on the typewriter with his other hand. It's fed into his slot. The card comes out. He gives it to number 2 to feed into the general. Number 2 gives it to the professor. The professor takes it over to the general, feeds it in, moves the knobs and everything. Lights start flashing. And then there's a meter that goes from like normal to danger, like into a red zone. Like there's a dot. There's like a gauge for that on the computer. The general starts smoking. All the smoke comes out and beeping, and then number 2's like, "Shut it down," and the professor's like, "I can't," and he's trying to work on it, but then like the computer like electrocutes him or something, as well as number 12, who's trying to pry the professor away from it. So they're both dead, presumably. So then number 2 asks number 6, "What was the question?" And number 6 says, "Why?" WHY question mark. That's it. So I guess because it's an existential question or whatever, computer couldn't answer it. Or maybe because it was just so vague. Who knows? But anyway, then there's the silent scene near the end where number 6 goes and informs the professor's widow that he's dead, and she's left sitting by herself and I guess crying or something. And number 6 just walks away. And that's it. So apparently, despite breaking and entering and all of this stuff, number 6 is left off the hook, not punished at all, because apparently, well, first of all, because number 12 did a lot of this stuff. He even shorted out the electricity in number 6's house so they could speak privately for a moment before the electrician got the power back on. But anyway, so, and also because number 6 is too valuable to kill, so the village isn't going to kill him no matter what. And there's a theory that the rovers are specifically programmed not to kill him. But anyway, yeah, I'm sure that there was more in this episode that I'm forgetting right now, but that's the basic gist of it. And I should mention that the general is first mentioned in the Schizoid Man. Some fans believe it's a different general that number 2 is talking about in that episode, because number 6 is confused and wonders who the general is. So some people think the Schizoid Man should come after the general because it's a different general. Other people are like, no, even if it's not the same general, new fans would be confused if they watch the general first and number 6 discovers what the general is, and then they watch the Schizoid Man and he doesn't know who the general is. So yeah, I watched the Schizoid Man before the general, so I was correct in that regard. Anyway, there was in the professor's house. There is a bust of number 2 is played by Leo McKern in the Chimes of Big Ben, and the bust was originally created for the art exhibition in that episode. So, again, we're on the right track. But yeah. So it was an enjoyable episode. Next comes A, B, and C, which will be the second episode where number 2 is played by Colin Gordon, as in this episode. So those form part of a loose duology. But yeah, so 7 episodes down and 10 to go. Yeah, so it's 9:37 p.m. and that's it. Thanks for watching.